the weekly feed. Kyle Meredith, the one and only Lou Barlow, is with me. Hello.
Hi.
It's nice to have you here, man. I'd call you legendary, but usually when I do that, people think I'm saying old. That's not really true.
I'm pretty old.
You're pretty legendary. It's the difference between famous and infamous.
Yeah.
Maybe not the exact same thing. It is. It's cool. It's so cool. We're catching you on some Sebadoh dates right now, and at this point, I guess you're back to a point in your career where you're kind of nonstop again, and maybe you never were not nonstop. But I guess it's because now we see you once again, Dinosaur Jr. and Sebadoh and the solo stuff.
It's really picked up in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
There was these times are so large now, and I am pretty old, so it's like...
You're 48, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've been busy for the last 10 years, but before that, it wasn't so busy.
Yeah.
It kind of quieted down for a few years.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's kind of interesting. I mean, we saw this with so many bands, and especially the bands that came out of similar scenes that you did, the Pavements and all of those, where it was, we're a band and we're on the rise, and now people don't care about us, and we go away, and suddenly we're bigger than we've ever been.
Yeah, they're pretty special that way.
Yeah.
Sebadoh doesn't have that exactly, but
yeah, to a point. I mean, you've been able to reissue an album that was now looked at as a very, very important piece of art for its time. I mean,
yeah, no, I'm not complaining.
Let's not downplay your career.
I'd like to downplay my career if you don't mind. I don't want to get too carried away with it. I mean, to me, it's I don't know. It's cheesy, but it's like the best is yet to come. I'm just figuring it out.
Right.
I'm almost there. Hold on, just keep, just hoping a few people will listen to the next thing that you do.
Yeah. Well, Defend Yourself was a fucking great way to kind of bring it all back and everything.
Yeah, it was, in my opinion, it was as good as anything we'd done.
Oh, no, I completely agree.
I mean, there's definitely, actually, that's not true. I don't believe that. But I think for the latter part of the band, when we became a rock band, I think it's a really good Sebadoh rock record.
Yeah, I love it.
A lot of our earlier records are pretty, they're pretty chaotic. So we sort of streamlined in like 95 or so. Yeah. So this is like the best of the, this to me is like, it's really good as a streamlined Sebadoh record.
It's a great record. Does it seem to a point, and this is going to be, I think, I've been running this around in my head for this not to sound backhanded. Does it seem like you're to a point now where you can capitalize on your legacy?
Capitalize?
I guess, and I don't, you know what, I actually do mean that in a money way too, because, we're talking about...
It's hard to say. I think one of the great things about music is that there's a lot of people who like music.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, it surprises me, It surprises me that I am able to do what I'm doing. It surprises me that, even if we get like 150 people to show, that's still 150.
Sure. Like, and bands can survive off that.
And if you're smart, you can kind of get by. So it's like, I really think that, the generosity of the audience, like over the years, because it's not, it's not easy to make great records, and I haven't necessarily done that.
No.
You know what I mean? I've made good records. I've done things. I'm just saying that. In my opinion, not to totally downplay it, but I got really lucky.
Yeah.
People like.
Yeah. Well, I'd say that about most musicians. So successful ones, luck has a lot to do with it.
Some people are like tremendously talented, and you really feel it when you hear it. I think, Sebadoh, we're sort of like we're like working band.
Yeah.
Like we really are like, we kind of keep our heads down and kind of like, we don't reach to the lofty kind of like, and a lot of, I think the great bands are the bands that people really love. We reach to these like lofty sort of things, and we're just like, we're pretty nose to the grindstone in so many ways, like how we go about it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No, it seems to have worked out all right for you.
I love it. I love playing, and.
But you're to a point now where also it's like, I can see yourself. So Dinosaur Jr. comes back, and then you can resurrect Sebadoh, and I'm not really sure what you do if you do a thing with folk Implosion, but it's got to be different where you can be comfortable being in anything you want to be when it's not the turmoil of the old days when you had to make a decision.
We did our reunion before the Dinosaur reunion.
Yeah.
It's all just like, in fact, if I really look at how many years really passed, like Sebadoh, I think we had maybe 2 years where we didn't do anything, maybe.
And that was it.
That was it. I mean, other than that, we've been touring consistently.
Yeah.
Since 1990.
But I guess what I'm getting to is like when you're young and in bands, it's so important that you're striving for this or something. Whereas now, and later days that you can
that's
just kind
a
of
relief. I swear to God,
Yeah.
like not worrying about just not being self-conscious anymore.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, what a relief.
Because
and just not being as pretentious.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess when I say pretentious, I mean I'm probably totally in my writing and things that I do. I'm sure it's really pretentious, but in my life, you try to keep things. You try to be humble.
Yeah. Is it to a point where I've read that like success was a stupid thing to have to deal with because of the pressure goes into it, and now I guess you're to a point where you can kind of exist on your own terms. Do you prefer it this way?
We always did it on our own terms, to be
even when the labels were really hitting a hard backing.
We got some of that, but we were such babies that even just the littlest pressure was like, oh my God, like we crumbled under any of even the most really mild pressure. I mean, 'cause if I look back on it now, I'm like, who cares? Like why didn't we? I look back and I wish I could have just breezed through it because it just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you do a great job at the fucking Reading Festival. It doesn't matter if you sell. It doesn't really matter how your records are reviewed. It doesn't really matter if all this shit doesn't matter. All this the politics of the music business and all that stuff, and just basic competition that you have just as a young person in the world, and your kind of aggressive way of going about things. That's all. It's like,
if you had known then what you know now, kind of
yeah,
would it have made a big difference?
I think the people that are truly great actually realize that at a much earlier age.
Yeah.
I consider myself a very late bloomer because the way that I behaved when the band was actually doing well and had a lot of attention. It's just
Yeah.
It was
well, I know it meant whatever you were going through, it meant a lot to the people that were there.
There's some people for sure.
Yeah,
they get it. I have to say that it's like it is a get it. It's like, oh, they kind of get us. It's nice. It's cool when that happens.
Do you ever feel a little bit trapped by the eras and stuff? Because there are people that have that time and moment that they connected to that, and when they hear that Sebadoh is going to put out Defend Yourself, they want it to be something. Do you ever feel like you have to cater to that at all?
No.
Because I know that record was
We've always done things like as simple as we possibly could. We always take the path of least resistance, so which makes sure that we do records, and makes sure that when we do set ourselves out to do a record, we make a record. We spend a week and we do our thing, and we
have to work smart, not hard.
Yeah, we work
different kind of working hard.
We do work hard when we do it. I think, you can always work harder. That's the beauty of life, And now that I'm realizing, what? I can just keep working harder, and that's it. That's all I have to do. It's like, just work harder, and maybe, I've been pretty lucky so far. So if I just keep actually really continuing to just tell myself how much I suck and just move forward, just keep going. Just because eventually, things will open up.
Yeah.
Maybe
I'm glad we're here to tell you that you don't suck, and we're really enjoying this ride that you're taking us on. Yeah. Well, Defend Yourself, it was written about, though, a lot. It was a personal album for you. It was a rough time in your life and everything. Do you get to put that stuff behind you now that the record's 2 years old and that's done?
You put a divorce behind you. Yeah, I guess.
I've been divorced. I know what this means.
I came from it was a 23-year relationship or something.
Which is, by the way, way more than mine was.
Yeah, it was 23 years, 2 kids.
Yeah.
It's not going away.
But that exists on a record, is what I'm saying. That it kind of does. Exists right there.
Looking back on that record and the material on it, I think it kept. I was at such transition when I made it. It's like it lacks a little bit of perspective, Which I think, sometimes the great thing about a really good breakup song or something is because it's graced with perspective, and it allows you to a really great love song has that, it's not all just like in the moment,
But the rawness is kind of nice.
The rawness is kind of cool. For sure. I don't know, but I don't know.
Your 15-year-old self would have probably wrote that the same way.
That's true, and that's the one thing that I kind of get off about. Is I'm just like, what? It's barely a progression, really, if I think about it. But that in itself is admirable. That I was able to bring myself to just to where I just was just using the minimal amount of words in a rough way, and sort of, anyway.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned the kids. I know they're getting older. Do you try to direct them musically, to steer them?
No.
Are you like, are they in the back of the car pumping Taylor or anything like that?
Oh yeah, Taylor's there.
Yeah.
But my daughter, I mean, she started going to this kind of, I moved to Massachusetts and my daughter started going to this kind of alternative education elementary school.
Yeah.
So it's different. Like she's not as into like pop culture stuff right now.
Oh.
It's not really part of her daily discussion with kids, which is kind of interesting. And she's actually become interested in like folk music, and she's more like, what you know, she like the other day she's like, Daddy, what does David Bowie sound like? And I'm like, well, I'd love to show you.
Walk right in.
I'm not personally a huge David Bowie fan, but I would love to sit you down. I mean, I just like how I love, the thing that I love about kids is just, I mean, what I love about having them or my time with them is just watching their minds just kind of alight on different things and just really, you know, trying to take in, I mean, without, I don't know, just observe them. I just love it. You know?
Well, I see that picture on Instagram of you putting her in your old Sonic Youth shirt. And
yeah, she was wearing my shirts to my rock shirts.
Yeah, that's what I started thinking. Is like, and let me tell you now what Sonic Youth sounded like, and you know, it's let me take this opportunity.
You know, I mean, she's 10. I think the cool thing is that when they're ready for something, they're ready for it.
Yeah.
Like, and I leave instruments around the house, and then one day you find that they're playing it, and it's like they're not going to do it because I tell them to do it. I mean, they could, I suppose, but I don't want to. That's too much trouble for me. I want my kids to like, I want to just follow them around and make them laugh, and you know, whatever. I don't want to like impose too much stuff, but I leave all that stuff available, and it's funny how they just pick up the will to create or just to fill their time is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. My son wants to learn Johnny Be Good on the guitar. He's 7.
That's awesome.
It's like,
that's
yeah,
great. That's
cool.
a good one.
He wants to listen to Huey Lewis and the News all the time. I feel like that's okay.
That's fine.
I wouldn't have told him to do that.
I'd love to listen to Huey Lewis and the News with a 7-year-old. That would be great.
It is fun.
Yeah, I love listening to all kinds of music with my kids. I mean, I love like channel surfing with my kids, like with my son and my daughter. Like he's 5, she's 9, and it's hilarious, you know. When he loves rock stuff, he's like, yeah, this is my music. like, what? It's your music. It's like, and my daughter's like, it's too depressing. She hates anything that seems slightly depressing, and he's really into like heavy stuff.
She's not going to be a Smiths fan.
She will be. Of course she will be. She's 10.
Once she gets into the bell jar. Into the bell jar.
Yeah, once the up and down starts happening, I mean, she's basically just at the top of that
You're about to go like teenage daughter time.
She's like up that first hill. She's not down. I mean,
good luck.
Yeah.
It's going to be what it is. On the subject of family, and I saw this too, you posted a picture, your dad was in the Air Force. Mm-hmm. Did that, I don't know if you're a political person, did that influence you at all growing up in your writing and stuff like that, to have kind of an armed forces background in a very close proximity in your family?
No, I mean, my dad was a total Democrat. He didn't,
it wasn't like that hard.
No, I mean, like the whole family, both sides come from Ohio, and they just happened to be Democrats, all of them. I mean, they weren't like intellectual Democrats. I mean, these are just working class Democrats. So there's a lot of, there's actually a lot of there used to be a lot of working class Democrats.
It seems it's a weird waffle these days.
They have their whole association is like FDR and things like that, and Kennedy, and so they have a whole different. I mean, the one thing I did take my dad's jacket and I painted dead Kennedys on the back of it. Right.
Which every kid rebels in a bit.
And I felt really bad about it after I did it, because when I got the reaction from them that I don't know if I had just not thought about it, or I didn't really want to offend my parents. And when I did with this dead Kennedys thing, I was like, oh, okay. They're not, because to me the dead Kennedys, I mean, this is a purely total Democrat. Right. I mean, they're a little more than that, but I mean, come on, that's all slamming on, oh God, I mean, that's really hyper-political music.
Right, right.
So, I don't know.
And I've never got that from you. I don't get any kind of overstating political themes.
I've done it. I think it's cool to write political songs. I think it's hard, though. I think it's incredibly hard, but, I mean, I did a record.
And why is that?
I don't know, because you just don't want to seem preachy at all, and then you don't want to seem, or arch, I mean, the last solo record I did is called Goodnight Unknown, and like, that's to me, like, there's a lot of what I consider political songs on it, and the title of the record is actually kind of lifted from a Rumsfeld speech. So it's like, that was, Good Night Unknown. It's because he had this whole crazy speech where he's like, we don't know the unknown knowns because the knowns don't
Right.
and I was like, that's amazing. And I kind of wrote a song off of that. And, it was, I thought it was like totally political.
Yeah.
Nobody heard that. I guess I hit it so much and it's so abstract or whatever.
Which a lot of artists would actually want to do. They'd want to say, you take your own interpretation.
But people aren't I think the thing is, it's also assuming that anyone's going to really take the time to listen that many times to a Lou Barlow soul record to figure it out.
Somebody out there is doing it, Lou. Somebody's doing it.
I was like, I always do it with the idea that someday,
right,
somewhere,
it's going to seep out.
There's going to be some 14, 15-year-old kid
listen.
who's going to be like, that's really, he's going to be, oh, wow, well, that's interesting, it occurred, he recorded this.
If nothing else, this interview right here is gonna make that happen for you. So somebody's gonna see it. Somebody's gonna do it for you.
Maybe.
So Sebadoh's back. Is Sebadoh back? I mean, is this? There are gonna be more Sebadoh records besides Defend Yourself and all of that?
I hope so. I have a lot to do, so.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, we just finished a cycle. Like, I kind of need to, I'm going to be, before I know it, I'm going to be like enlisted to do another Dinosaur Jr. record and tour, and that takes an immense amount of time.
And you started a new band. Did that ever form you? I read that somewhere. You were like, hey, I'm jamming around with guys, and maybe we'll do something.
Oh, I did with Dale Crover and Ahmad Wasif, who I've played with Ahmad quite a few times in the last 10 years, and then Dale Crover from the Melvins. And Dale actually played on my solo record, but then we kind of had a band where we were really playing, and but we did 2 songs. We had 2 days in the studio, and that was it. It was so much fun. Dale and Ahmad are they were my favorite musicians in LA, and the people that, just really easy to work with, really nice people. So
playing with your friends, playing with your heroes.
Yeah.
It's not a bad spot
Dale's
to be.
it's funny because he's totally like, he's a peer,
Yeah.
He's like, everything that his whole introduction to music totally mirrors my own, and his kind of way that he went through things and what age he did it, and the Melvins too. It's their parallel journeys or whatever. It's cool. It was nice to hang out with him.
Yeah. So you take a break, but you think the next time we'll hear from you might be then Dino or something like that?
Well, I have a solo. I think I'm just finishing a solo record, and that'll be out in the fall, maybe
awesome.
late August, early fall.
I can't wait.
I'm psyched.
Me too, Lou. It's great to talk to you, man. About the whole thing.
Cool.
We'll see you down the road.
All right.
All right. It's the Weekly Feed.